Welcome back to another review, this time for the anime Musume Cinderella Grey Part 2, which had 10 episodes and was airing in autumn of 2025. Synopsis on any list. Hailing from the humble countryside, Oguri Cap has turned the racing world on its head. Her rampage through the national race scene seemed unstoppable, until it wasn't. Tamamo Cross, the current peak of racing, has bested the Beast and declared Oguri Cap her rival. But Oguri Cap can't afford to keep her attention on Tamamo Cross alone. One by one, racers from all over the world arrive in Japan, ready to demonstrate their own prowess. Up against the best the world has to offer, our Asian racer will need to reach beyond her limits if she wants to stand a chance. Keep those eyes peeled. Cinderella's story, full of twists and turns, lies ahead. So this was the second part. First part was mostly a setup. You know, we get introduced to our main character, how she went from this little countryside horse, racing horse, to get into this, you know, more, in quotation naturally, but a more prestigious racing scene. And we get a big payoff in part 2. We get a bunch of races, we get fantastic animation. I love the detail they put in with... I just like that all the different horses have different, you know, speeds they run at. You know, someone who has a, you know, long legs, they don't need to take as many steps as the one with shorter steps, which is a very nice attention to detail. We got some fantastic scenes, some fantastic battles. You know, this show does a very good job of, you know, not really putting the main character in invincible mode. You know, in other sports shows, it's like, you know, it's the main character. The main character has to win. It's simple. Main character wins. Maybe there's 1 or 2 losses, but then we come back and we win again. The simple, you know, it's simple, it works. It's a typical quote-unquote shonen principle. But in the show, I was never really sure. Is Oguri Cap going to win? Are we going to win? Are we even going to be part of the winning formula? You know, it's like most of the time it's number 1 against number 2 in the race. Are we always going to be at the top? Or are we sometimes not? And the show does it really well. It showcases all the other racing horses, horse girls. And it does a really good job of introducing these characters that at the end I was, you know, I would be happy with if any of them won, especially the international race. I was like, I want everyone to win. Everyone has a reason to want to win. You know, everyone has somewhat of a more sad backstory. In the case, you know, maybe people just lost interest in them or lost hope in them, and they want to prove themselves again that they can be at the top. And I was like, you know, I don't need Oguri Cap to win. The other ones can win too. Especially with Tamamo Cross coming, you know, more or less out of nowhere for the show, and being this big rival. It's just like, you know, I'm happy with whoever wins. But at the same time, I'm sad that not everyone can be number 1. Which, you know, I did get emotional a couple of times because it's very easy to get me emotional. Very hard to get me to laugh or be hyped. The visuals, fantastic. I love the zone. It's so nice. We have a good diversity going. I would have loved for my girl to get a, special zone as well and not getting disqualified, but, can't have everything. I especially like, we have Tamamo Cross with her lightning-based zone, which looks awesome. We also have the bullet zone, which very fitting, very nice visuals because it does look like a bullet. And naturally, we have a couple more zones, which the concept is it's just fun. It's a simple thing that sports anime like to do, where you have like a zone, a special ability that goes off, and it is always just really hype whenever it happens. And it's the same here. It is always interesting to see these girls race, to see a little bit of the behind the scenes, see the history, and they do this all while abiding to historical, truthness, which is like insane, I feel like. We also got seemingly a setup for future shows or seasons. I don't really know how exactly this is going to go. But at the end, we got, a little bit of a wrap up and introductions of new characters. Definitely looking forward to it. But yeah, this show is fantastic. If you like Uma Musume in any way, shape, or form, you definitely are going to watch this. I mean, sure. If not, if you just like sports, I would highly recommend giving it a shot. It is just a really, really good sports show in the end. I like the characters. Sadly, our trainer was unable to, succeed, but maybe in the future. So let's go ratings. Any list has it at 86%. My anime list is at 8.68, which is interesting. A lot of similar ratings. Okay, fair enough. I would give it a strong 9 out of 10.